You're watching Chillyboy Productions. I'm Larry Chillyboy Chilson, and this is my review for The Fire Inside. Now, before we get into this review, make sure to go ahead and click that subscribe button down below so that you can chill with me on each and every one of my latest videos. The Fire Inside is a 2024 sports biopic that tells the story of Claressa T-Rex Shields, a boxer from Flint, Michigan, who trains to overcome the odds, seeking to become the first woman in U.S. history to win an Olympic gold medal in boxing. The film stars Ryan Destiny and Brian Tyree Henry and is the directorial debut of famed cinematographer Rachel Morrison, written by Barry Jenkins. So I was able to see The Fire Inside as a special presentation at the 2024 Denver Film Festival. So thank you so much, Denver Film, for giving me the opportunity to check this film out. So I had seen the trailers for The Fire Inside, and I was already intrigued. I wasn't totally familiar with the story of Miss Shields, Miss T-Rex, if you will, but the trailers looked good, so I was really looking forward to this. Plus, we had the film's star, Ryan Destiny, on hand to accept the Denver Film Festival's Rising Star Award, and she was so lovely in person. What a wonderful opportunity to hear her speak and even get to meet her afterwards. But more so, thankfully, the film itself is also quite good. An inspirational sports story done right, and one that takes us on some unexpected paths to this journey. So let's go ahead and talk about the positives first. Well, I have to give it up to Rachel Morrison for the direction because I think every aspect of the film works really well. And that shows the signs of a really strong director behind it all. Starting off, I have to talk about the acting because this is some of the most natural acting I've seen in a while. And these are professional actors. A lot of times when you feel that really natural flow, they find these amateur folks just part of the community to come out and be a part of the film. But with Brian Tyree Henry and Ryan Destiny specifically, it all just felt real. I never felt like I was watching people act on screen. I was just watching people live through this shared experience. I thought all of the performances were fantastic. Ryan Destiny absolutely carries as our lead protagonist here. Hearing her say she is a complete wimp and not an athlete who never works out was a complete shock to me after watching this film because she sells it. She is in such amazing shape, and you would think she is ready for the ring at any moment based on what you're watching on the screen. And then Brian Tyree Henry is always amazing in literally everything he's ever in, and The Fire Inside is no exception. And it's their chemistry that sells it all so well. But honestly, there are so many different, really complex and complicated relationships throughout this film, and they all feel natural and real. And those complicated relationships kind of lead me into another aspect I really enjoyed about this film. It leaves all the warts on. It doesn't sugarcoat this rise to greatness, this training montage to be the best. No, it shows the struggle. It shows the doubt. It shows all of the hardships that come with being an inspiration story. But that takes me into another aspect that I really enjoyed, is that this film is not just an underdog story for the athlete. Obviously, it is that. It's a zero to hero type of movie, an ultimate dreamer's story, the ultimate American success type of story of somebody who rises up from literally nothing. But it's not just that. It's a story paying respect and showing honor to a people, to a town, to a city that, well, at the time that all of this is taking place, up to literally present day, America has willfully left behind. We're dealing with Flint, Michigan in this story, who most times is kind of this punching ground of jokes made at literal human rights violations done against them by our government. But it recontextualizes their support of Claressa. It recontextualizes what that gold medal means and what's on the line, what she's actually fighting for. And then the film actually takes it one step further. Not only is it about a people, about Flint, by and large, a really beautiful honor to that city, but then it takes it a step further and showcases the darker side of post Olympia, if you will, particularly for female athletes, particularly for female athletes of color, Black female athletes specifically. But I enjoyed the fact that we did a follow-up and her story very much continued into the aftermath and what came next and the lack of glory, the lack of financial stability for someone who dedicated their entire life to winning our country a gold. So they take the typical biopic, they take the typical sports story. It plays by those beats, particularly through the first two acts of the film. We're following the same general structure. However, we have a whole third act that departs from that structure. And through the first two acts, we're not afraid to get dark. We're not afraid to show that nitty gritty. And I really appreciated those deviations from the typical formula. So then, what doesn't work so well when it comes to the fire inside? Well, the film is actually quite short. It doesn't even clock in at 2 hours, and I think we could have padded just a bit of time to further flesh out some of these messy relationships on the outskirts with her family members. We go from being on the outs to being on the ins and back and forth without really giving us good context. I think we could have spent just a touch, just a little, not too long, but just a touch longer, particularly on her relationships with each of her different parents. I think both of those relationships are a bit underdeveloped. Honestly, both of those characters are a bit underdeveloped, and the story itself would have benefited from spending just a little longer with each. Also, as much as I love the third act and that we go down that path and that we shine a bright light on something that needs to be exposed, it takes a little bit too long to re-pivot and give us an end goal to move towards the finish line once more. And thus, I think it starts to drag. You start to feel a bit of a pretty short runtime as we work through kind of the middle stretch of the third act. And I think if they had just given us that viewpoint off in the distance to work towards a little bit earlier, it would have helped the pacing. But overall, I'm happy to say that The Fire Inside gives you that cheer-worthy sports movie that you're hoping for. It gives you those big moments in an inspiring biopic that make us all want to strive for better, but it doesn't shy away from reality to do so and gives us deeper context to what it means to be a figure for your people in this sense and how sometimes that's not enough. That doesn't pay the bills. If you can, don't watch the trailers, especially if you don't know this story already. They give away way too much, honestly, and they give away what we're working towards for so much of the film. So don't watch the trailers. It's coming out on December 25th, a Christmas Day release, and I think it's a perfect holiday watch. So give this one a chance with the family over the holidays. So that was my review for The Fire Inside. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click that like button down below and subscribe to the channel so that you are always up to date on all of my latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Are you excited to see The Fire Inside? Let me know all of your thoughts either in the comment section down below, or you can hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your continued support. Mwah. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.